drugs, money loss, crime, expulsion, and racism. We can help you with the transfer. Hello everyone. You're watching Study with Global Education channel about education and life in Russia. Today we will discuss how safe Russia is for you and your friends. Is there anything scary about it, or the devil is not as scary as they paint him, as Russian proverb says? Send this video to anyone who thinks that in Russia a bear can eat you alive. To begin, let us define what we mean by the terms security and safety in this video, because these words have many different meanings. Security is the state of being protected in one's vital interests. We all want to feel safe, so today we'll look at situations that could jeopardize your comfort or significantly complicate your life in Russia. We'll also dispel some common myths about Russia. Are you intrigued? All of these scenarios, by the way, are based on true stories told by our international students. Please share your interesting stories in the comment section. And I'd like to remind you that it's always better to learn from the mistakes of others rather than your own. Do you remember about our contest and the chance to win $100 from Global Education? If not, I'll remind you later. And those who are interested, look for a post stamp in the video. Let's get started. Medicine. The most important aspect of living a comfortable life anywhere is health safety. To avoid getting a cold as soon as you arrive in Russia, we recommend that you carefully read the information about the climate in the region of Russia where you will be studying before traveling. It is crucial to bring the appropriate clothing. Briefly about the geography of Russia. Russia has 4 climate zones: Arctic, subarctic, temperate, and partly subtropical. It's easy to imagine that the climate varies greatly in different cities. For example, in Sochi, you've probably heard of this city because the Winter Olympics were held there in 2014. So, in Sochi, in summer, the temperature can be plus 40 degrees Celsius, and in winter, plus 9 or plus 11 degrees. It's colder in Moscow and St. Petersburg. Summer temperature range from 20 to 30 degrees Celsius here. Winter temperatures are about minus 5 to minus 25 degrees, and there is a lot of snow waiting for you. That is why you should bring warm clothing such as a winter jacket, boots, winter caps, scarves, and gloves. You might saw one of those in the Harry Potter movies. One of the common misconceptions about Russia, by the way, is that all Russians wear ear flaps. That is simply not true. It is a Hollywood movie stereotype. Everything here is different from what they show. Here are some examples of Russian winter attire. A piece of advice: do your homework on the weather in Russia before you move and pack accordingly. Like this video if you enjoy dressing for the weather. The second thing is health insurance. When you come to study in Russia or any other country, you apply for medical insurance. Insurance costs vary. The more expensive insurance you purchase, the more services it includes. You might have felt the need for medical assistance, for example. In this case, call the number on your insurance policy and explain the situation to the operator. All information will be sent to the ambulance. Of course, insurance covers the majority of emergency situations. Even if your insurance doesn't cover the service, they will still assist you and transport you to the hospital, but they may issue an additional bill for payment. Anything that requires long-term treatment, such as surgery or therapy, is agreed upon separately. Remember to get seasonal vaccinations and learn how to prevent acute respiratory infections. Another piece of advice: don't skimp on insurance. keep track of its expiration date, and don't forget to get vaccinated. The third thing is contraception. It is very simple to find in stores as it is sold almost everywhere. We advise you not to risk your and your partner's health. And that's it about the medicine in Russia. Let's move on. Waste of time. Not many people consider this, but there may be times when circumstances place your valuable time at risk. The most common reason is failing to meet deadlines. If you're just going to enter the university, then be sure to check the terms of the admissions committee. It is critical to keep an eye on them. If you postpone the submission of documents, you risk not being able to enter the college you want. In this case, you will have to wait until next year. As a result, you will squander an entire year of your precious time. Do you really need this? Right? Certainly you don't need it. Always check the dates of deadlines and press the bell below the receive notifications. What else might occur that would be disruptive to your comfortable life in Russia? Expulsion from the university. The most upsetting thing for a student is being expelled from the university. If you have another favorite university, not the one you study at, we can help you with the transfer. What are the reasons for the education? Point number 1. Academic failure. You may fail your exams and eventually be expelled from the university. It is unpleasant, but I'd like to point out that everything is in your hands. Moving on. Second point, missing classes. Put a like if you skipped your classes only for a good reason. Third point, violation of college rules. If you've never broken rules of your university, leave a comment below the video. Nonetheless, all universities have rules and they are not dissimilar to the laws of the country in which you are located. Rude attitude, fights, windows breaking, and theft are the examples of violations of the educational institution's rules. Furthermore, it is important not to discredit the university or state in which you study on social media. The fourth point, tuition was not paid on time. Let's stop right here. Each student has a contract with the university where they study that specifies the terms of tuition payment. What is the risk if you are past due on your payments? At best, you will face penalties that must be paid, and at worst, you will be expelled from university. Let's look into why there might be a payment delay. First, you cannot transfer money to Russia. Here's the video that responds to any of your possible questions. The next one, if your tuition is paid by sponsors and there is a delay on their part with the transfer of payment. We had cases where the student's country's state organization forgot or delayed payment and the student was expelled as a result. Be cautious and always inquire about the status of your payment. It's also possible that the annual tuition will rise due to a change in the dollar exchange rate in relation to the currency of your home country. What if you expected one sum of money but received a lower amount? I know it's unpleasant. Fortunately, the Russian ruble is currently quite stable. And another piece of advice, before making a payment, check the exchange rate. Now for the most important part. At this point, open notes on your phone and write down the following points about the visa regime and migration registration in Russia for foreign students. An educational institution can only grant a study visa, so if you are already in Russia on a different type of visa, tourist or working visas, for example, then the university will not be able to extend it. If you entered Russia with a study visa, you have 7 days after arrival to obtain the next important document, immigration registration card, also known as a registration. If you do not register within 7 days of arrival, you will be in violation of migration legislation. find and may face difficulties obtaining a new visa. In the worst case scenario, you will be deported from Russia with a 5-year ban on entry. Hey, you can find more useful articles about the rules of living in Russia on our website. Read and keep up with the latest news. There is a link below. I think that you might have already drawn some conclusions from what I said above, and if not, I'll repeat. Do not violate the law. And remember that you have come here to study, to go to classes, do homework, and have a great time. Subscribe to the Study with Global Education channel and follow up-to-date information about life hacks for international students. Crimes. Share this information with your parents if they continue to call you every day and believe it is dangerous to live in Russia. According to the world's largest database of cities and countries, Numbeo, the level of the security index in Russia is 60 points for 2021. This is higher than in the United States, Canada, and the United Kingdom. We are not going to give you a lecture on the basics of life safety and talk about types of crimes. Let's start with the most common ones: theft, beatings, fights, and drug trafficking. The most dangerous of this is drug trafficking, which carries a real prison sentence of 5 to 8 years. So be careful and just don't participate in it. Sometimes unscrupulous people offer foreigners good money to distribute drugs in various deserted areas of the city. Students frequently agree and do not understand what they are doing. And I want to remind you that there are no places in big cities where you cannot be tracked. We all have phones, and our phones are tracked and share information if desired. All movement information can be obtained by the police forces, and drug distributors are very quickly calculated by the police. This year happened 2 unfortunate cases. 2 students from Egypt were caught in Barnaul doing illegal activities, and in Voronezh 2 Moroccan students were actually detained. Take care of yourself, your health, and your time. Drugs are lethal. Also, alcohol consumption is widespread in Russia. We condemn it, but it is still legal. Avoid drinking companies, especially if you're a foreigner. Everyone will want to get you drunk, as this is a sign of friendship and hospitality in Russia. If you drink only pure orange juice, click the link button. Racism. There is no racism in Russia, but there are stupid people. According to Obi Gerald, a Nigerian doctor, he encountered racism more frequently in Nigeria than in Russia.
I experienced more racism in my own country, and I've also experienced more racism in different countries as compared to what we have here in Russia. So I think racism is one of those things that we need to correct. That Russians are actually one of the friendliest, if there is anything like that.
Russia is a multinational country. Conflicts based on ethnicity are extremely rare. In Moscow, there is even a People's Friendship University, RUDN, which was founded in 1960 and is named after Patrice Lumumba. Ethnic communities are common in Russia, as they are in other countries. Ethnic communities are groups of associations of a single ethnic group. In Russia, there are an Indian community, Armenian, Azerbaijani, Iranian communities, etc. That is, if you come to Russia, you always have the opportunity to learn about the ethnic community of your country in order to get in touch with people from your motherland. Like this video if you hate gray colored likes, only blue or red ones. Moving to another country is scary and not simple. Leave your questions in the comments. We are the Study with Global Education channel, and we will always be in touch with you.